Hey y'all, I'm CQ and this is Spirit Gumbo, the podcast where we stir the spiritual pot with truth, spice, and sass. Today, we're slowing things down and meeting Christmas exactly where we are. Because while this season is often wrapped in joy, lights, and tradition, it can also carry grief, loss, and complicated emotions that don't magically disappear just because it's the holidays. In this episode, I'm sharing a very personal story time with you, one that weaves together the magic of Christmas, the reality of holiday grief, and what it means to keep showing up when joy feels out of reach. We'll talk about love, loss, anger, remembrance, and the quiet truth that sometimes surviving the season is the celebration. This isn't a how-to. It's not a lesson. It's simply space to feel, to remember, and to honor whatever this season brings up for you. So, grab your candle, sip your tea, and let's get into it. This ain't just talk. This is Spirit Gumbo with CQ. Storytime with CQ, Christmas grief. Christmas is one of my favorite times of year, and I know what you might be thinking. CQ, you're not religious, which is true, but I grew up with Christmas. I went to midnight mass every year with my mother and my mama. I remember watching all the candles light up the church one by one. Those moments are some of my favorite memories. And let's be honest, Christmas also coincides with Yuletide on the pagan calendar. I just choose to embrace the warmth of Christmas all the same. If you ask me, this says it best. It's Christmas Eve. It's the one night of the year when we all act a little nicer, we smile a little easier, we cheer a little more. For a couple of hours out of the whole year, we are the people that we always hoped we would be. It's a miracle. It's really a sort of miracle because it happens every Christmas Eve. And if you waste that miracle, you're going to burn for it. I know what I'm talking about. You have to do something. You have to take a chance. You do have to get involved. Frank Cross, Scrooged. My top Christmas movies are A Christmas Carol, honestly any and all versions, but my favorite is the 1999 miniseries with Patrick Stewart as Scrooge. Scrooged with Bill Murray, 1984, which I still have to watch every year, even though they're basically the same movie. And interestingly enough, It's a Wonderful Life, 1946 with James Stewart, which I just found out this year was loosely based on, wait for it, A Christmas Carol. And of course, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 2000 with Jim Carrey. I love the magic of Christmas. For me, that magic is centered around being the people we want to be. It's the redemption arc of being better and doing better. I love driving around with a coffee, looking at all the Christmas lights. And the star of Christmas for me represents love and light from the universe, the source of love. That's Christmas to me. I have so many wonderful memories of Christmas. I'm an only child, but my mom's family is huge. I remember being surrounded by family growing up, aunts, uncles, cousins, and the food. Us Cajuns love our food. Were the holidays perfect? No, but my memories are full of love. That's the magic of Christmas. Warm hugs from family, joy, sharing food and stories with people we haven't seen in a year or years. It's exciting, it's fun, and yet there are times when we can't seem to get into the Christmas mood. We don't feel the magic. And I'm here to tell you that's okay. For some of you, this is the first Christmas without a loved one. And regardless of how that loss happened, it's still a loss. Some of you are carrying stress and anxiety from a world that isn't giving much back right now. Our world feels like it's constantly on the brink of something. Not to be an alarmist, I'm just being honest. And for some of you, that weight hits home every single day. Some of you are caregivers to the people you love, and man, do I get that. These are just some of the reasons and examples why a season that's supposed to feel magical can instead be filled with grief. I want to share my story with you today. It's taken me a long time to understand and make space for my grief around Christmas. And my hope is that by sharing it, some of you might feel a little less alone in a world that's constantly asking us to be merry and joyful during a season that's supposed to be filled with magic. In 1983, my grandfather, my papa, came back home to my grandmother. He found out he had cancer of the lymph nodes, and by the time he was diagnosed, he was already at stage 4, and at that time, there was no getting better. He chose experimental treatments, knowing they wouldn't help him, but that they could help someone in the future. Yeah, that's the kind of people I come from. My mama already lived next door to me and my mom, and when Papa came home, he moved in with her. My mom at that time was planning on building a house, and before he got too sick, he was able to help her wherever he could, as my grandfather was a carpenter. When I got out of school each day, I would come home and sit with him for a few minutes before making a snack and doing my homework. At that time, I didn't have a father in my home, and for those 9 months, he took on that role for me. At the time, I was 9 years old. In early December of that year, he went in for treatment, but he wasn't responding. He didn't come home after that appointment, and by mid-December, the grown-ups knew he wasn't coming home at all. Me and my cousins were brought to the hospital to say our goodbyes. The grown-ups were smart enough to do it before he got too sick and before he looked too bad. I remember walking into that hospital room, and I remember telling him that I loved him, and I remember refusing to tell him goodbye. Papa told me I needed to say goodbye, but I couldn't. I just knew in my heart that if I said goodbye, it was over. I walked out of that hospital room, not knowing that I would regret that choice for years. My papa, the closest thing that I had had to a father figure, passed away on December 22nd, 1983. He was laid out on December the 23rd and buried on December 24th. My mom was smart enough to have had people looking after me while she was at the hospital, and I remember my mom coming to tell me that he had passed. I remember bawling my eyes out. I remember going to the funeral and waiting until the very last minute to walk up to the casket to tell him goodbye. It was so hard. I knew what death was. I went to my first 2 funerals before I even turned 1. I was raised with death, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not afraid of it. It's just a part of life. But I was angry. I was angry with the universe, God at that time. I was angry with myself. For years, I held on to the grudge that he was taken from me, that universe, that God was punishing me. He's been gone for 42 years now, and there are still Decembers where the 22nd and the 23rd hit hard and I feel sad. There are other Decembers where it only brushes past me for a moment. With what I do for a living, one of the inside jokes is, you can't make this stuff up. And it's kind of funny that when I decided to do this Christmas special and looked at the calendar, I wasn't a bit surprised to see that this episode would premiere on December the 23rd. The universe is just so aligned like that. I'm finally in a place where the grief isn't as deep as it once was. I am no longer angry, and I don't blame the universe anymore. It's an ache that comes and goes. And when my mama passed, I remembered thinking, they're together now. There's nothing to be sad about anymore. That was my first dance with Christmas grief, and there have been other dances since. There were Christmases during Aaron's sickness where I did what I had to do to make sure my children had good Christmas memories. I took them to see the lights. I made sure the elves passed for my youngest. Her sister would bring bells outside her window, then run back around the house waiting for her little sister to come running, saying she heard them. There were Christmases where dinner was perfect. Everything looked right on the outside, but on the inside, I felt nothing. No joy, no magic, no holiday cheer. I went through the motions for them. During those years, I found it so difficult to watch my favorite Christmas movies because when you don't feel things, there was no redemption. There was no Zuzu's petals in the pants pocket moment. Just showing up and surviving it took everything that I had. Holiday grief is real for so many people, and I'm here to tell you it's okay. We're human. We have emotions, and they don't know what day it is on the calendar. We grieve, we feel loss, and we need to honor that, not with explanations, and not by pleading with others to understand. If you're feeling this way today, I want you to know that I understand. I truly get it, and I'm sending you the warmest, biggest hug. It's okay. You will feel that Christmas magic again. You will feel joy and wonder. It will wait until you're ready. And if your best this Christmas is simply holding it together for the people you love, then let that be enough. If you're angry at the universe and don't feel like celebrating, that's okay too. No one gets to tell us to cheer up for others. That's not okay. We need to be able to process and express our rage, our anger, to feel that it's not fair. I feel you. I know those feelings. And I'm sending you the warmest Christmas hug because, again, one day you will be able to enjoy Christmas again. I know this was a deep episode, but I felt it needed to be shared. For those of you who are experiencing grief at this time of year, I am wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and the happiest of holidays. May your days and your families be blessed. Christmas and the holiday season don't ask us to be anything other than human. Thank you for sitting with me in this story. If something stirred in you today, be gentle with yourself. And if this season feels heavy, know that you're not alone. Wherever you are in your own holiday story this year, joy, grief, or somewhere in between, you're allowed to meet it exactly where you are. Let it be enough. That's it for today's brew. If something stirred your soul, pass it on, and don't forget to rate, follow, and share your thoughts on any of our socials. Thank you for spending part of your holiday season with me. However you celebrate or don't, I'm grateful you're here. Next week, we'll be closing out the year together with a New Year's reflection, a gentle pause before we step into what's next and 2026. Until next time, this ain't just talk. This is Spirit Gumbo with CQ.